was the ferry Barajali delivered at the time the photographs were taken?
This is the time the ferry was being taken from the port to the shipyard to be able to make the platform floating, because the time when we got this ferry out of water was sinking on the water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To whom was the ferry delivered?
The ferry delivered to us as for GAM Petroleum.
GAM Petroleum.
Yes.
Thank you. 5 photographs claimed to be those of Barajali ferry, allegedly taken at the time Gambia Ports Authority delivered the said ferry to GAM Petroleum, admitted mark MS-64.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very clear.
Mr. Bazi, I'm going to give you some documents from SC10, and these are letters dated, first a report dated 29 November 2007, and the estimated value, book value of the cost of the Barajali ferry handed over to GAM Petroleum, prepared by the Ports Authority, and 2 letters dated January 9, 2008 from Gambia Ports Authority to Muhammad Bazi and team, and another one dated 9th March 2009 to the Managing Director, Gambia Petroleum Storage Facility from the Gambia Ports Authority, claiming compensation for the cutting up, the conversion of the ferry into a pontoon for the services of GAM Petroleum. I'm going to give them to you to take them away with you. If you do have any reaction, next time you come, you can say so.
Okay.
Just to give you an opportunity to understand what they're saying.
Thank you.
Now, it is correct. I just want to clarify this issue. It is correct, is it not, that you had to alter the ferry to make it flat so that it can serve the purposes for which you wanted?
The ferry was damaged, Madam, completely. It was
Mr. Bazi, we've heard you say that many times. I just want to understand. We want to understand. You had to alter the ferry in order for it to serve the purpose for which you wanted it.
We have to add iron steel plate on the ferry to repair it, to bring it to a place where it can be able to float, to be floating. Because the ferry, the position we take the ferry from the port was not in position to be floating, because water was going inside and was half of the vessel was on the water. We take it to the shipyard. The shipyard, they have to add all to repair, to bring it back to a position, floating position, to be able to put pipe on top to lay it on the river. So this is exactly, we don't alterate anything. We add the steel, we bring it back to a floating position. Was not the vessel, the ferry was not in floating position. We take it to the shipyard for months to repair it, to bring it to a floating position, to lay the pipe and put it on the river. And the ferry was no engine at all. We have to hire tugboat from the shipyard to be able to tug this ferry. The ferry has no engine at the time we take it. And the shipyard that are still here, that are still existing, if you furthermore they can come and explain also.
Mr. Bazi, if the ferry could not float, how could you tug it to from the ports to Denton Bridge?
With the tugboat, that's what I was explaining. We have the tugboat.
Yeah, the tugboat, I understand. But for it to be tugged, it has to float, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the reason we take it to the shipyard and we invest a lot of money on it, on iron steel plate, to be able to float again, to repair all the damage was on the ferry.
All right. That's fine. I won't ask any further questions on this. Do you have any other document you want us to look at? What is the document?
It's one document for Navy land you was asking me last time.
Yes. What document is that?
is the document from the Ministry of Land.
Is it the lease?
The approval of the lease. You need the lease
Do
also.
you have the application that you submitted?
I think I got some document for you, which is, I think you will be satisfied. This is the approval and the port acceptance. You need the lease also.
Tell us what you have. I want to know exactly what you have. Take it out and tell us one by
This
one
is
what
an
are those documents.
application of the land for the milling corporation.
Application by the milling corporation for the land. Is
Yes.
that what you mean?
And this is the letter written from the Ministry of Regional Administration, Land and Traditional Roles. I have the letter, and the letter from the port saying also, referring to that letter and asking us to do something on the land, like the waters and the wall and all these things, which is we all has been done. So just for your file to be completed, because last time you was asking me those questions and those documents was not
Let's
with
see.
me.
Let's see the documents. Mr. Chairman, I'd apply to have admitted set of documents produced by the witness with regard to the Gambia Ports Authority land leased by the Gambia Milling Corporation from the Ministry of Local Government and Lands. I'll have questions on these.
that foot to the stage.
correspondence concerning land allocation to Gambia Milling Corporation, commencing with letter dated 17 February 2011 from Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority, to the Managing Director, Gambia Milling Corporation, and ending with a letter dated 22nd April 2013 from the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Regional Administration, Lands and Traditional Rulers, to the Director, Department of Lands and Surveys, in a bundle. Admitted, mark MS65. Yeah, I think they have a strong case in equity, even if they do not have a... we'll see.
When you mark it. No.
Very well, we'll have a break for 10 minutes. Thank you.